Hello, hello. Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV. Okay, so last time we got sent back in time by Elpis using his own life force to power the time machine crystal tower that the 8th Umbral Calamity alternate universe timeline sent back in time once already to be on the first. And we seem to be in the time of Amarot, but before the final days. We have these very tall people who seem to be using a mixture of Elizin and pure models, I guess? Hmm. Aetherite-like device. Hmm. Either it operates differently or we're fucked, considering we're basically a ghost. You gesticulate wildly and shout all manners of greetings and obscenities, but the man does not so much as glance in your general direction. Yep, we really are a ghost. Gonna need some sort of Casper girl or something to see us. Wasn't a girl in Casper that could see Casper? Or something like that? I haven't seen Casper in so long. We're like trying to open this door, and it's just like, dude, have you not figured out
And
your...
here we are, Elpis.
Hey, wait a minute, that voice is familiar.
Well, well, how rare to receive you in person. To what do we owe the honor?
Wait, so it's common to receive them, like, in some sort of message?
Oh, just a few odd tasks. We'll be here a while.
Hmm.
You're welcome to stay as long as you see fit, of course. As a matter of procedure, however, I must ask that you kindly remove your masks.
If that's the procedure here, then why are you wearing yours?
Come now. Is this truly necessary? Surely you can tell who we are.
Who you are, perhaps, but I am far less infamous. Regardless, if we do not follow protocol, 'tis our hosts who would be held accountable. So, please, do favor us with your handsome face.
Oh shit. The guy on the right, if you didn't recognize his voice yet, you should have. But it's more telling that the lavender-haired fellow on the left knows what his face looks like, don't you think? Hmm. Seen that mask before. I'll be damned. Look at their eyes. They have like a unique iris pattern to them.
Satisfied?
Did he just like actually look at Clyde and then decide, you know, better not mess with it?
I thank you for your cooperation. You are free to go about your business.
How polite. Clyde's just getting out of the way. He's like awestruck.
By the by, you see it too, yes?
Hmm.
I haven't the foggiest what you're talking about.
He's very tsundere, isn't he?
That's odd.
You can tell just by how he said that he's about to get Emet-selch's goat.
It's right here. A bit thin in the ether, but there's no mistaking it. The color of its soul is almost identical to Azem's. Do you suppose he created it? Rather unusual for a familiar to have a soul, though.
Don't ask me. All I know is that it's trouble. Doubly so if it's his spitting image. So let's leave it be. Come now.
I know this is kind of like a sitcom theatric, but it doesn't fail to be funny. I mean, sitcoms are successful for a reason.
It's trying to say something, but it's literally too intangible to form words. Why don't you give it some ether? Spare a snifter of your bounteous reserves.
Who do you take me for?
Why, a dear friend, of course. One who wouldn't let acts of kindness, such as my accompanying him on errands to far-flung outposts, go unrewarded.
I suggest you close your eyes, or this may be unpleasant.
Working his magic with snap, even 12,000 years ago.
You may open your eyes.
Are we larger? We weren't that close to the light before. We are larger.
Oh, you even adjusted its size.
The better to indulge your whim. This way, it will be easier to communicate.
How very thoughtful of you. And may I applaud your artful reinforcement. Without further ado then. Greetings! I am Hythlodaeus, Chief of the Bureau of the Architect. Sulking beside me is the most honorable Emet-selch of the Convocation of 14. And how might we address you, my new friend?
My new friend, huh? Hythlodaeus, huh? Damn.
A fine name. And I'm pleased to see you understand our words.
He's fucking pretty. Like, if I'm not gay, but...
So, tell us, whence have you come? The thinness of your essence suggests you weren't created here. You do not know? Or cannot say? Allow me to ask a different question then.
Allow me to find the loophole.
What brings you here? Well now, the same as us. Perhaps Azim wished to come too, but had to settle for a familiar.
If he truly wished to be here, then he would be.
Emmett's not wrong. I mean, we're the fractured, sundered version of him, so nothing would stand in our way.
Right you are. My apologies if we've given offense. The two of us can discern the color of souls, you see, and yours happens to resemble that of a friend. And with your purpose matching our own besides, we jumped to a hasty conclusion. We are here to speak with Hermes, the chief overseer of this facility, which we also intend to tour in order to gain greater insight into the man's work. We, I say, though this is Emet-selch's charge. I am here only to serve as his guide. And I should be happy to serve as yours as well, by way of an apology for the misunderstanding.
Wait, are you suggesting that we bring it along on official business? This thing we know next to nothing about?
If you harbor suspicions, better to keep it close than leave it to its own devices. Wouldn't you agree?
You can tell that Arthlodeus has had to put up with Emet-selch's denials for probably decades. What's cute?
Besides, having a mysterious life form in tow is the norm rather than the exception here.
Gonna make yourself more like the people who are here, huh?
Welcome, my friends, to the testing ground of creation at Heaven's Edge, Elpis.
Heaven's Edge, huh? So what, like... Well, okay, there's clouds. So what, like 30,000 feet? Hey, it's the dog. It's the Doge.
This presence.
Oh, there's... Okay, yeah, it's Heidelin. They're trying to hide her, but we already saw her in the boat. Blue girl? With wings for ears?
Hermes! Visitors! We have visitors!
And axolotls, huh?
What secrets are you hiding, I wonder?
Is that about the facility, Hermes, or me? Hey look, an ancient with a beard. They're not all Bishonans. Or Bisinans, rather. A Bishonen is like a beautiful teenage boy or whatever. A Bisinen is a beautiful man. In Japanese. Reach out and touch the heavens, huh? Using concepts to give shape to ether, creation magics allow us to bring forth anything we desire, be it inanimate objects or living beings. Anyone may conceive of concepts, but they must all undergo evaluation at the Bureau of the Architect. I'm actually kind of surprised that he used the term living beings rather than animated beings or something like that. Although I wonder if it could possibly be something that was lost in translation, or if in Japanese they don't make the distinction. Even the non-voice lines are gold. But check this out, okay? So this is actually really convenient because this is something I wondered the first time I did this when Endwalker released. See, because of the server congestion issues and because of me falling behind my friends due to that break I took from my girlfriend, when I got to Elpis, I was alone. There were like tons of people running around, but I was more focused on the story, so I didn't stop for strangers or anything to compare. But you can see there's a Lalafell here, and they're the same height as a Lalafell would be relative normally, right? So, you know, this is comparable heights for real. And this means that, once again, even without 12,000 years of, or I guess without 12,000 years of age, that Emet-selch is as tall as a maximum height Highlander. And, I don't know, it's pretty cool. Even though I think they're using custom Elysian frames. Attired as you are, however, you stand out a little too much. Our dear Emet-selch wishes to keep a low profile for his errand, so... Do you know how to make a robe? The basic concept will do. Nope. No, your whim, your responsibility. You're getting not another thimble of ether out of me. The way he scrimps sometimes, you'd think he wasn't a nigh bottomless font of magic. Very well, I shall make the robe, but perhaps you can assist. Come, let us search for the requisite material. Let's see if we can talk to anybody else. Those researchers are from Academia Annider's Words of Halmarut, here to observe the state of the local flora. I wish they would give equal attention to the ambient environment, specifically how much noise they are adding to it with their little debate. I'm still confused as to why some of the researchers here are wearing their masks when it's specifically stated to be protocol that you do not wear your mask. I guess maybe it's a right you earn back, maybe, if you've, done things, I guess? I don't know. Or, I mean, like, worked here long enough or something, you wear your mask if it makes you more comfortable or something like that. Or maybe protocol just isn't held to high esteem here. Maybe people flaunt protocol all the time. No means no, you horny reprobate. An etheric rope. I want you to use it to capture, shall we say, 2 petalodi. There are 3 species here. I believe any 2 different kinds should serve. Now I should mention that the strength of the rope is tied, no pun intended, to the strength of its user. As your aether is still thin compared to ours, you'll need to weaken the petalodi first. Good luck. So this is like combination a task to make us appropriate, but it's also low-key a way to see if we're actually strong enough to, I guess, not die. Because these things, you know, they can hurt us, right? You can see that they're hurting us. And, I mean, maybe, you know, this is like a test of, like, see if we're even worth the robes that we're gonna make, you know? An experiment as much as it is Hythlodeus being charitable. I'm surprised they don't say anything about us wielding weapons. None of the ancients have them. You turn living beings into clothing just like that? They were only moths. I mean, the Leatherworkers Guild does the same stuff in our day and age. I don't know why that's even a dialogue option. Oh, it's fine. There's no one around to kill us off. And besides, we can always make more Pedalodi. They need only a tiny amount of ether. It may take some effort to get the form and composition right, but anyone familiar with the concept should be able to manage. You know, that actually just reminded me, the monstrosity that they're trying to display here. If you've ever seen the claymation, Mark Twain's, Strange Tales or something like that, there's one where Mark Twain takes the three kids who are like following him around in the show into a door to meet the mysterious stranger. And the mysterious stranger is standing on a clay platform in black nothingness. And they ask him, you know, what's your name? And he says, I can't remember if he says Lucifer or if he says Satan. I'm pretty sure he says Satan. And he's holding, instead of having a head, he's holding a mask on a stick, a white mask on a stick that changes shape as he speaks to both do the lip movements, but also sometimes growing grotesque horns, or becoming excessively smooth, or turning into a more skull-like feature. And first, you know, one of the kids says they're hungry or something, and the mysterious stranger says, what fruit would you like? Or what fruit do you like best? And each kid has a different answer, you know, apple, oranges, grapes. And the mysterious stranger, by a wave of the hand, makes the grapes, the oranges, and the apple. And the kids eat it, and it's delicious. The mysterious stranger then bids the kids to make clay dolls. And once the clay dolls are made, you know, one kid makes a king, and one kid makes some villagers, and another kid makes a cow and a plow and a castle. Lightning shoots out of the mysterious stranger's fingers and imbues all of the clay dolls with life. And they in a very quick, you know, almost like a montage sort of thing, you know, one of the villagers takes the cow and the plow and starts farming, and the king goes into the castle and becomes the king, and people start having disputes over who owns the cow, and they yell and they're annoying, and the mask of the mysterious stranger grows more and more demonic. He can't stand the noise, and then he angrily states that the creatures are annoying, and there will be a storm, and they must run for cover if they want to survive. And lightning strikes, and an earthquake splits the clay apart, and every clay doll and cow dies. The kids look at it and gulp, and they say, how could you do that? How could you just kill, you know, the living people you just made? And the mysterious stranger, mask all smooth, turns towards the kid and just says, what's wrong? We could always make more if we'd like. And that's the monstrosity they're trying to display with what Hethlodius just said. Not in this, obviously that's Emet-selch's text box, but you get the idea. Best to simply say that you're familiar. Whose, though? Ah, of course, Azim's. If you say you belong to him, people will give you the benefit of the doubt for any and all outlandish behavior. Exploiting our associate's absence? For lack of his presence, absolutely. Were he here, he'd have been the first to propose the idea. And you know it. Well, at least Azim in the past seems to have a brain. Clyde wouldn't have been able to do that. Or say that. Or suggest that. Alright, well, we can't make our own robe. We can certainly glamour it. So, it's the Sophist's robe. And why don't you say, while we're here, let's hide our weapons. And, I don't have any gauntlets that won't show up. So, I guess I could try glamming them to Techo 55 and see if that will temporarily do something. Or we could just unequip them for... we don't have enough. Let's unequip them to... I wish I had some Emperor's New gloves or whatever. I might go grab some just to have to do that between recordings. But for now, I think this will do. They gave us Sophist's Hupodema, which I assume is like Greek for shoe or something. I don't think we need to go that far. Let's see. Because, I mean, see, like, the robe is gonna... Oh, that's Cyan Travelers. Where is it? Sophist. Okay, so they've got, like, skirts underneath their robes. I'm just showing this off to show it off. I'm not actually gonna glam anything. Because, like, you can't even see under the robe, really, so it's whatever. Pass as a child in your original size? I think not. Augmented or no, your Aether is still far too thin to be considered normal. Wow. It's actually pretty crazy. And I'm surprised that Clyde would suggest it. I wouldn't want to be smaller physically in this world. I'm actually surprised that just by... Well, I guess I'm not too surprised. They can create anything from thin air. But, I'm surprised that Emet-selch was able to adjust physical size anyway. But I'm pretty sure the reason they did that is to put us on the idea of making the player equal to the people who see them as lesser. And then also so that another character we're going to run into that we've already seen in the cutscene will seem more childlike. Yep, that red mask tells all. Your discretion in the matter would be appreciated. Aquatic creatures, so you'll find them at one of the pools here. Okay, so Hermes is the chief researcher. Hythlodeus apparently knows Hermes very well, huh? Couldn't you simply find him by his ether? Aye, that I could. As you know, Emet-selch and I can discern the color of souls. By the same token, we can also see ether quite keenly and from great distances. With this skill, I could readily locate Hermes, but I felt that it would be a waste of an opportunity. We're here to perform an assessment after all. By searching the ordinary way, we stand to gain insight into Elpis and the man in charge of it. This is as much for your own enjoyment like as not, but point taken. If you're going to accompany us, make yourself useful and help us look for Hermes. According to his profile, he has short, dark hair. So you know, it's because we are in Elpis that we don't have our cowls up. A special exemption due to the need to be aware of dangerous creatures. Elsewhere, we do not exhibit our individuality. It's unseemly. This is all common sense, but I would not assume you possess any. It's a rare treat indeed to be able to search for someone by their appearance, and I thank you for humoring me. Come, let's find our man. That makes it even more telling, the relationship between Emet-selch and lavender hair Hythlodaeus. The fact that Hythlodaeus knew that Emet-selch had a handsome face. Let's see. Do I have a? I do have a. Okay. Just gonna get rid of our necklace. It's bothering me in the cutscenes. I don't need to look 100% like an ancient, but like, I'd kind of like to fit in, you know? Just a little bit, anyway. Can't talk to these two. They're both women. They're both shorter than Clyde, slightly. The black one has, like, neon blue hair, and the white one has white hair. That's cool. Ooh, a unicorn. Piano, huh? Discovery of the creation's true nature. Reveal the essence of their being, huh? Very interesting. Oh, I can see the quest marker for Hermes over there. And I can see Hermes himself. But let's go attune to this aetherite that looks exactly the same as the aetherite that Emet-selch reproduced in the Phantom Amarat back on the first. Yeah, this is where the story becomes fascinating, but at the same time ridiculous. Bewinged girl, huh? Bewinged. They have such funny faces. And Hermes himself. Who we know is the progenitor of Fandaniel. And he's
You are...
oddly wearing his mask as well.
Oh,
A sign that he flaunts Protocol too, despite being the chief.
different. You're different too. You and me. We're alike. Friends. I want to be... Wait. Please. Wait.
Oh wow, this is exactly like dealing with a little kid.
Greetings and salutations. Can you hear me?
Except for the telepathy.
Do not be alarmed. I mean you no harm. I wish only to hear your words, share your feelings, and know your thoughts. May we please be friends? May we please be friends?
I guess?
Ah, I see you found him.
I mean, in real life, this reminds me of my niece. One of my nieces. Well, I guess technically she's my cousin, my second cousin. But she's kind of like a niece. My second cousin, Mackenzie, when I was like 15 or 16, she was about 4. and I was visiting my aunt with my family, and my family, and she just wanted me to show me all her dolls, and tugged on my hand, and wanted to be my friend, and of course I couldn't resist such, you know, this adorable display of affection. So I let her drag me around, and I played with all her dolls, and I played with her, and that's actually the last time I got to play with her, and that was 16 years ago. So it's been a long time. Actually, I guess it was 17 years ago.
It's been a while. Too long, I think.
Oh, hey, look, they're addressing each other by name.
Too long indeed for close collaborators. On this blessed occasion, I bring not only myself, but others who long to speak with you.
You are of the convocation?
Emet-selch at your service. Do I have the honor of addressing Hermes, Chief Overseer of Elpis?
You do. You have traveled far for it.
Given your facility's purpose, its remote location is something of a necessity. Would that I didn't have to rely upon a guide.
Oh, you wound me. Have I not ever been an attentive and helpful friend? But moving along to more agreeable company, this one we chance to... Well, you certainly have her attention. Is she one of yours, Hermes?
Her name is Meteon. It means shooting star.
If I may make an observation, her ether is terribly thin. I fear she might dissipate at any moment.
Shooting star, huh? Meteon. You know, ever since the... Well, Meteor, or Meteo, was a powerful spell as far back as Final Fantasy III on the NES. And it was a central plot element in Final Fantasy IV as the most powerful black magic. And the most powerful offensive magic as well. And then, again, it was a powerful spell in Final Fantasy V. It was very different in Final Fantasy VI, but it's still a very powerful spell. The animation for it in 6 changed drastically too. A black hole opened up a rift to space, and actual rocky meteors. Although I guess it would actually be asteroids if they're rocky, because a meteor is... Well, I guess a meteor is actually an asteroid that enters the atmosphere, right? I'd have to look at the specific differences up later. I know a comet is made of ice. But anyway, point being, if her name is basically Meteor, she's going to be a big deal.
Nor do I believe you've made a submission to the Bureau. I would remember such a concept if you had.
Oh snap.
I haven't, as you say. I judged it too early. She's a pet project of mine, still undergoing preliminary testing. But rest assured that I will attend in person ere long.
Very well. Being an authority on flying life forms, I appreciate that you are exacting in your work. I shall look forward to your submission.
Giggity?
If we have finished with the perfunctory chit-chat, I would discuss official matters.
Oh snap. Emmett wants to get down to business.
By my coming, I trust you already anticipate the subject.
I have an inkling, yes. Please wait to the main building yonder. I shall join you as soon as I've returned these creatures to their homes. and the Mystoma is missing.
Abystoma, huh? Ambystoma? Dun dun dun.
I may have found it. A creature with the self-same ether as those there, nestled in the boughs of a tree outside the grounds.
You're saying they can climb with their sorry excuses for limbs?
Fly?
The fashion has been to imbue aquatic creatures with the power of flight, ever since the words of Metron created a sky-swimming fish.
Word.
The Ambystomas too can fly, if only slightly, and they could conceivably climb a tree. Whether they can come down safely, however... Excuse me.
I'll help too.
And what are we supposed to do with this lot?
May I suggest we split up? If you would be so good as to assist Hermes, Emet-selch and I shall keep an eye on these adorable creations in the meantime.
The words of Metron are supposed to create aquatic life forms, both beneficial and innovative. Aquatic. What would possess them to put this creature in the sky? And is it even aquatic to begin with? It's just a little nod and joke. The fact that in order to fight most of the fish enemies without having... Oh man, listen to that music. But without having swimming combat, you know, they have to float above land, more or less. It's like a in joke between players, and look at Hermes up in the tree. Needed a hand, Ben? Remind me of my friend Ben. You can call me Clyde. Clyde Wyvernhide. Clyde Wyvernhide, you were called. An intriguing name, somehow reminiscent of a new creation. Thank you for coming after me. He hasn't referred to us as an it once. Of course, how could he if he's, you know, basically got a daughter, more or less. Kind of wish that the settlements here in Elpis just played the world map music rather than the settlement music. There might be a way to adjust that, but I'm pretty sure I can only adjust mount music to be off, not settlement music. I'll have to check it out between recordings sometime. Yo dog, can I get on this meeting? I promise I won't kill you until 12,000 years from now.
This appears to be the place. And here is where we part ways.
Oh.
We will be discussing highly sensitive affairs. Only a select few may be privy to such knowledge, and that does not include someone who cannot or will not divulge their origins. What? Will I have to remove you by force?
Clyde's trying to protect the space-time
Let's hear
continuum.
them then, these reasons of yours. Who knows? If I deem your mysterious cause worthy, I may even be inclined to offer my assistance.
I do not object to his attendance.
Hermes, this is highly irregular.
Perhaps. But I believe he can be trusted. Meteion would not have taken to him so quickly otherwise. Moreover, the presence of a third party may help me to maintain composure.
As you wish, then. Behave yourself, do you hear?
Have I misbehaved yet? Guess he's worried about the Azim and me coming out. Although I suppose it's already on full display. What with the not backing down and all.
So, it's finally happened then.
Aye. Van Daniel has declared his intention to step down, and named you as his preferred successor. In recognition of your knowledge and your works, the Convocation is giving the recommendation due consideration. As one who does not know you personally, I am to use my impartial eye to take your measure.
Oh wow, so the rest of the Convocation knows Hermes personally.
And above all else, to ascertain your disposition towards the invitation.
Or perhaps not all of them, but at least enough of them that it needs to be said, you know?
I understand that you and Van Daniel are close. He himself was once chief overseer of Elpis after all.
Uh-oh, we got legacy play and inheritance going on here.
I should not be surprised if you knew before anyone else that he wished to relinquish his office.
I did. He told me that when he fulfilled his purpose, he wished to pass the torch to me.
A torch you seem none too pleased to accept. Are you so averse to serving on the Convocation?
No, it's not that. For a humble researcher like myself to even be considered is an honor beyond words. No. What troubles me, what I struggle to come to terms with, is the very fact that Van Daniel is stepping down. Does this not mean that he will return to the Star?
Of his own volition, yes, like so many others have before him.
Voluntary death?
Return to the star? Does that mean die?
Well now, That's not a word I hear often. Is that what you say here in Elpis?
Dun dun dun.
Mankind is the life of Aetheris. Each of us, a drop of blood flowing through its veins, bearing sustenance. In our finite time upon it, 'tis our duty to make it a better place, that all who call it home, now and in future, may abide in happiness.
Our finite time upon it, huh? Is it finite because you choose to die, or is it finite because you would die eventually anyway? I would assume it's because you choose to die.
To that end, we have dedicated ourselves to the pursuit of enlightened creation. And by our efforts did we transform this once untamed wilderness into the peaceful paradise you enjoy today. To return to the star whence we came is a privilege afforded to we who have so loved and nurtured it. A choice embraced by those who have lived their lives to the fullest, in service to our world.
Now, this whole preamble here, this whole dialogue, apparently Yoshi P and the writers for Final Fantasy XIV think that this makes Hythlodaeus some sort of incredible monster because he's like speaking so lightly of death, and it's scary to them that anyone could think this way. But if you read the works of J.R.R. Tolkien, you know, the Silmarillion and the Lord of the Rings, in that notion, to be able to die is considered a gift, right? Like the elves, they are immortal, and they have no souls as such. They cannot. If an elf dies, then they're gone, right? But mankind and the other beings of Middle Earth and the Lord of the Rings world, when they die, they go to the basically to be with God, more or less. And so Iluvatar, or whatever, he gave mankind the gift of death, and it's seen as a blessing. And of course, men don't understand why that's a blessing, because they can't understand life beyond what they know. And here we have basically functionally immortal people choosing to die to sustain their planet. I don't think it's scary at all. I don't agree with the creators or the writers at all. I think they're wrong.
And when they depart upon this journey, it is beautiful, always.
The 14 are no exception. 'Tis believed no occasion is more felicitous than the fulfillment of one's duty. Our office becomes our lives, and to retire is to return, or so the majority of us hold. Some few have elected to eschew custom. Mayhap you feel Fandaniel's deeds do not warrant his return. Yet you should know his accomplishments as well as any. During his time, he conceived of countless outstanding concepts. And channeling the wealth of experience he attained here in Elpis, he brought forth many new specimens.
I know of all this. I do. It's just, I cannot fathom why someone so great and wise, who could still do so much good, would want to end it all.
But wouldn't it just be a new beginning? Because when you return to the planet, does the planet not put that soul back into a living body eventually? It's more like a rest. A long sleep, and you do wake up.
Oh no. I've made her upset. Forgive me. I know I requested your presence. Might I trouble you to take Meteion outside? A change of scenery would do her good.
Yeah, sure, I'll be her uncle, I guess. I meant to try to tab target the other people, but... Alright, we're gonna get a little one-on-one with Meteon here. Hermes gets sad when he thinks about death. When others are sad, I'm sad too. That's how I am. How he made me. But don't worry, I'm fine now. So, why did you come here? You want to learn about Elpis and Hermes? Ooh, teach you. I can teach you. We could take turns. I tell you something, then you tell me something. Sure, why not? Let's talk to Memnon. He should be near the Aetherite. Memnon, like Agamemnon? Okay, we got a little bird girl accompanying us now. Isn't she a cutie? Ah, the Aetherite. Anyone can use it to teleport anywhere. Well, maybe not anywhere. Not to the ground or other isles. For that you need teleporters. Oh, and permission. Though you look like a person, your aether is quite thin. I assume you are a familiar like Meteon. Is there something you need? Mrs. Clyde, can you teach him about Elpis? Ah, newly arrived familiar, is he? Very well, I should be glad to introduce our fair facility to him. As you know, it is mankind's duty to make the star a better place. As part of this duty, we employ creation magic to bring forth new life. However, we cannot simply release our works into the world, for it would lead to chaos. No, any and all life forms must undergo extensive testing to determine their fitness to exist. Testing which is conducted here in Elpis. Every candidate is subjected to rigorous study, in which we identify their properties, surmise what habitats might be suitable, and speculate as to the effects they may have on the environment and other species. Should it be judged a beneficial addition to the star, it will be allowed to take its place in the world. The two of you, too, were created with the hope of making the star a better place. So heed your masters well and be good, do you hear? We will, Memnon, we will. Thanks for the lesson. You had a turn, now I get a turn. Where did you come from? There's such a place? I had no idea. But this place is important to you. I can feel it. Oh, my power, I haven't told you about it. A creation! Let's find a creation! One not being watched. Then I'll explain my power. Hello? Spriggans? What are Spriggans? Oh no, we call them Oriai. If there's many, if it's just one, we say Orias. Though they're cute, they can be naughty. Sometimes they run off of concept crystals, and Hermes has to run after them. Motionless bird. It's the shoebill. It's the shoebill from Shadowbringers, except 12,000 years in the past. Oh, this creation is perfect. But I don't remember seeing it before. Perhaps it's new? Anyway, I'll try reading its mind. That's my power. Okay, Professor X, or Jean Grey. I can't read it. Or maybe there's nothing to read? Wait, please wait, I'll try again. With you this time. Greetings, can you hear me? This is my power. I can read the emotions of those around me, and project my emotions to others in return. I am not actually speaking to you in your mind. Rather, you are converting my emotions into words and intention, a process performed subconsciously by intelligent life forms. This ability is vital to my mission, for it allows me to interact with intelligent beings even should they communicate via unknown languages or other nonverbal means. As a consequence, I am clumsy at speaking. Yet though I struggle to express myself in this fashion, Hermes wants me to speak as much as possible, for everyone has thoughts and feelings that they may wish to hide. I harbor an affection for you, one that is difficult to define. Aside from the fact that you share common traits with us, your thoughts are more complex. Prismatic, they draw me in, and leave me wanting to know more. Out of respect for your privacy, I will refrain from using my power when speaking with you. Nevertheless, I want you to know that I wish to be your friend. Well, that was actually really poetic. Yeah. Wasn't that your turn in the first place? What are you good at? Well, I'm good at fighting, yeah. It's pretty much all I do. Hermes is strong too, but he doesn't like to fight, even when creations fight him. Yeah, the bird's looking at her now. You don't suppose it's Emet-selch's familiar, do you? His gaze does look an awful lot like his. Wow, reading that line out loud, that got me choked up. When I played through the first time, I read it all and I drank it all in, but I was so much more interested in other things that I didn't give Meteon my full attention. Apples covered in syrup? That sounds weird, but do you mean covered in caramel syrup? Because that would be tasty. Candied apple, huh? You know you can't eat Meteon. You weren't made to do so. But I like it too. It may seem that way, but it's due to your ability to share others' feelings. You've taken Hermes' likes for your own. In any case, I can't prepare an apple right now, but I'll bring one for Hermes soon, I promise. I'm sorry, Clyde. I wanted to show you my favorite thing. Then I could ask about yours, but I failed. Oh, that's what you like. Yes, I can feel it. Your joy and happiness. And it makes me happy too. Thanks for sharing it with me, Clyde. Well, we've walked and talked a lot. Maybe Hermes has finished talking too. Shall we go and see? Is that bubble still just the aetheryte bubble, or? Yeah, I think those are both the same bubbles as before. Emet-selch trying to get away from us. The fresh air has done Meteon good. Clyde wanted to learn about you and Elpis, so I taught him. About this place, about my power, about your favorite food. I'm not sure if that last one will be of any use. But I do appreciate you keeping Meteon company. While you were away, I finished speaking with our guests. Finished? Hardly. You requested time to consider the invitation, so we have no choice but to occupy ourselves with an inspection of your work. My apologies. It has been decided that Emet-selch and Hythlodaeus will accompany me as I tend to my duties. If you wish to learn more, perhaps you would like to come too. I'm compelled to remind you that he is in no way associated with the convocation. We simply chanced to meet at Propylion. There is no guarantee that the matters we discuss will remain private. I do not mind. To see the joy his presence brings Meteon, I cannot imagine our mysterious friend harbors malicious intent. Clyde is kind. Really, truly. He taught me as much as I taught him. You're coming, of course, to watch Hermes. You're bound to learn lots and lots. Emet-selch is weary, and Hythlodaeus is laughing. Alright, let's push a little further, shall we? Though I see new creations on a daily basis, here they look at them with a different eye. It will be interesting to observe Hermes at work. It is held that all civil organizations should conduct their affairs with total transparency, and the convocation is no exception. But that doesn't mean we are obligated to show our work to unknown entities such as yourself. Consider yourself privileged and behave accordingly. Have care, there might be more unruly creatures. Ooh, are they as unruly as my Tyrannosaurus? Yeah, I don't really know why they let us ride our mount here already. I'm sure it's just for convenience sake. Storyline-wise, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. But whatever. I'll take it. I won't waste your time. Or, well, any more than I'm already wasting it. Although I suppose if you want to be watching this, and you're watching this far, then, well, I'm not wasting it at all, am I? The ever-popular butterfly. You're still bothered about your robe? Don't be. The few specimens we repurposed won't be missed. All vim and vigor now. When we were discussing his nomination, he was melancholy incarnate. Tell me, do you know the difference between living beings and arcane entities? It is the presence of a soul. Yet the soul isn't something you can choose to have at will. No, it manifests only in those beings whose forms adhere to the laws of creation, that can endure on their own. Beings that do not fulfill this requirement, such as those spontaneously born of magic or natural phenomena, do not have souls. No matter how much it might resemble flora or fauna, if it lacks a soul, then it is considered an arcane entity. So you see, it is not for mankind to decide what is living. That domain lies beyond our manipulation, and it is hubris to assume otherwise. But come, let us head to the nearby beacon. I have received a report that arcane entities have gathered there. My nose is all snotty from me getting choked up about Meteon. I hadn't expected to get choked up at all. I expected only to get salty. uh, of course, we're not actually at the part that's going to make me salty yet. We probably won't get there in this recording. Even if I push it out to a full hour and a half. Lightning Numa, just as the report said. Although we call the structure a beacon due to its form, it's in fact a magical device. By manipulating the balance of elements, it keeps the isle airborne and maintains the climate thereupon. In the course of its operation, it often sees an internal shift towards the given element. Right now that element is lightning, which draws the Numa here to replenish their ether. Feed the Numa, huh? Let's see what that says on our key item, shall we? Okay. Oh. I hadn't expected that to happen. Perfectly done, Clyde. Look. See how they gather to feed, how they express themselves through their actions despite their lack of words? Speech is not the sole defining characteristic of a thinking, feeling creature, nor is silence an indication that they do not possess these qualities. But be it a soulless arcane entity such as the Numa, or an ephemeral life form such as the Petaloda, all seek to perpetuate their existence, to survive. Either way we ask it, he's gonna... A good question. I can answer it from a theoretical standpoint, but it ultimately falls to the Bureau of the Architect to pass judgment. Those with exceptional vision, such as Hythlodaeus, may be able to ascertain her true nature. But to me it doesn't matter. She is herself, and that is all I need to know. In other words, Hermes loves her. Like she really is his daughter. Even though he... I guess that's kind of an example of virgin birth, more or less. So imagine being able to make kids without a partner. Now that would be chaos. Ah, this fellow has been the talk of the Bureau. The combination of a carefree aspect and endless rows of fangs is strangely charming. Was Is there a guiding theme or any method to the madness that is this random assortment of features? It's extra funny because it's a Final Fantasy XI staple, the Goobu. I wonder what the fuck they're gonna call it, though.
Amazing, is it not? The Ampelos, one of our newest subjects.
Really, Ampelos? It's a fucking Goobu, dude.
So, how are we coming along?
Hey, look, Elpis flowers. Or what did we call them back in our time? I can't remember. The Rogadine that told us about them called them all sorts of things. I can't remember what.
This place is Elpis. Those flowers. Elpis. Entelechis. Like me.
Entelechy? The fuck does that mean?
They are a product of Elpis, and so named for their birthplace. A happy accident, born of the hands of a former researcher who loved beautiful blossoms.
A happy accident, huh? Isn't that a euphemism for a mistake? Right? Because that's what Bob Ross. You know, we don't have mistakes when we paint. We have happy accidents.
Unique for how they change color, to reflect the emotional state of those nearby.
So this is their origin.
Though be it here or elsewhere, they are seldom seen in any hue save purest white.
Reflect the emotional state, you say? By what means do they achieve this?
In creation, there exists an energy wholly apart from ether, one driven by emotions. In like manner to how we manipulate ether, this flower is subject to the influence of said energy. While it has no will of its own, it is sensitive to the prevailing emotion in the vicinity, and reacts by altering its color and vibrancy.
So it really is like Meteon. It reads the emotions of others. And breaks itself on them even.
It is one of the unseen energies defined by Harnish alchemical theory. Though a gross oversimplification, some describe it as an essence influenced by feeling.
Akasha. Though I'm not familiar with the term, your description suggests it is the self-same energy. Dynamis, we call it.
Dynamis. Another Final Fantasy XI reference. How fitting. When we came to see the Goobu, which is a Final Fantasy XI enemy, we get Dynamis, which was the dream world. The dark dream world. Dark reflection of reality, born of the Shadow Lord and the dark divinity that trapped Raugrim's soul, as well as the souls of the Northlands expedition. One of the few things in Final Fantasy XI you could truly call a raid. It was a 3-hour event originally that could happen twice a week and had to be organized outside of game on third-party websites if you wanted to have any semblance of a schedule. And people would zone jack it all the time because it was the only way to make relic weapons, which were the most powerful weapons in the game, which took anywhere from, depending on how much currency you were getting, and all sorts of other factors and variables, anywhere from 1.5 years to 4 or 5 years to make one originally.
And those entities like the Elpis flower that have the ability to interact with this energy, converting emotions into tangible phenomena.
Oh, and by the way, in 11, in Dynamis, death was prevalent. It was the most common outcome of a Dynamis run. You could have total wipes of up from anywhere from a full alliance of 18 people to 64 players all die.
Our Antelekis.
Okay.
That's me! That's me! An Enteleki!
Intellecty, huh?
That you are, my dear. And no ordinary one at that, but the first possessed of free will.
The first Intellecty possessed of free will, huh?
Wait. A form of energy other than ether? Dynamis?
So the actual definition of Intellecty in real life is a it's a noun, a realization or actuality as opposed to potentiality. Or in vitalist philosophy, a vital agent or force directing growth and life.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Hardly surprising. Dynamis cannot be seen, much less felt. And though its existence has long been theorized, we had no proof until the flower's serendipitous creation.
And then another definition is the soul or principle of perfection of an object or person, a monad or basic constituent, something that contains or realizes a final cause, the vital force thought to direct the life of an organism.
What's more, Dynamis is far weaker than ether. Under normal circumstances, its effects are drowned out by the latter.
Huh.
On account of which, beings comprised of and reliant upon the ether, like you and I, are unable to make practical use of Dynamis.
Well, what about impractical use?
'Tis a truly esoteric thing, known to but a select few scholars.
Select few? Select who?
Intriguing. Then, given the limitations you described, why create Meteon?
It's a cloudy sky, we can't see.
Our star, Aetheris, is especially rich in ether, so much so that its name is derived from it. However, when we consider all energy in existence here and in the vast space beyond, Dynamis may account for as much as 68.3%.
You might be wondering, why does that oddly specific number come up? All you need to look up is dark matter theory in real-world science. In real-world science, it's theorized that the energy that science can't actually measure or account for throughout the universe is composed of dark matter, and that the universe may be composed of as much as 68.3% with a few other decimal places of dark matter, because we can't reliably measure what all the universe is made out of with our current instrumentation.
The more abundant form by far. Were we able to control it, we could open the door to limitless possibilities.
So even though ether is more powerful than Dynamis, there's so much more Dynamis in the universe that the many become strong. The horde outweighs the quality.
'Tis not unlike a gently flowing stream, unable to break through the dam of ether barring its path. But if we could imbue the stream with the vigor of a raging river... Not that I have such grand ambitions. Nay, I merely wish to create a being that could traverse the great expanse.
Create a being that can traverse outer space.
The relative scarcity of ether beyond the bounds of this star was a concern. And so, I looked to another source of energy by necessity.
That being Dynamis. No wonder her ether is so thin.
Precisely.
Yours is thin too. Like an entelechy. Like me. So, are we the same? Entelecchies.
Well, I can't read minds. So we can choose to make fun of Emet-selch. We can talk about limit breaks. But why don't we go with the first option for once? Why couldn't I be an entelechy?
I think not. Your nature remains a mystery, but ere I reinforced you, you appeared to be little more than a common familiar, and a faded one at that.
A deficit of ether alone does not an entelechy make. It would, however, make it easier for you to interact with Dynamis. And limited though its influence may be, this quality could prove the difference between victory and defeat. You do well not to underestimate it.
Victory and defeat. Okay, so his response here is the same regardless of your options. The only person whose dialogue changes depending on your response is Emet-selch. And if you say the one about transcending your limits, Emet-selch says it sounds more like a raging beast. And I actually haven't ever picked the other option because I've only ever done this scene once. But suffice to say, we're not an entelechy. We can't read minds, we can't feel the emotions of
dear.
others.
I'd forgotten about the poor fellow. You must excuse me a moment while I go and verify a few more things.
But the second option about transcending your limits and whatnot is why he's talking about victory and defeat and all that. Although I wonder if that's like a localization change and he really meant to be saying life or death. Oh, the Elpis flower was submitted to the Bureau before you joined, and you haven't had time to go back through all the prior creations, or maybe no protocol for it. We're friends in thinness. Don't fat shame me, Tion. Don't fat shame. I know Emet-selch and Hythlodaeus are dummy thick with the ether, but it irks me to discover that there's an entirely different form of energy, and no one told me. That personal annoyance aside, Hermes' knowledge is undeniably impressive. Given that there are none among the 14 who specialize in the Celestial, he would be a welcome addition. Assuming he can be persuaded to join, that is. I still can't understand his hesitation. Well, obviously he wanted to serve. Let's ask him what he wanted to specialize in. Oh ho! You wish to know why Emet-selch was chosen for the convocation? I should be glad to share the tale. It began when... Not another word. Lest you've forgotten, we're here to learn about Hermes, not me. My misspent youth is not your concern. I love Hythlodaeus. The Convocation of 14 is the governing body that determines myriad policies Our goal is to ensure that all is right in creation, that our star may know a brighter future. As the name suggests, the Council is comprised of 14 offices, each of which is held by an individual chosen for their surpassing abilities. Depending on the office, one is required to either be an authority in a certain field or possess skills that would facilitate the performance of their stipulated duties. The former category includes Mitran, specialist in aquatic life, Logrif, specialist in terrestrial life and husbandry. So, those are the two Askians that were in the Eden raids. Hamorut, specialist in fungal and plant life. Ameroloth, specialist in medicine and healing. Ameroloth is the one that got killed by Galuth and the students of Baldessian in Eureka. And Laha Brea, specialist in creation magics, who has brought forth phantom beings of the highest complexity. As for the latter category, there is Altima, advocate of the arts, Igiorm, champion of enlightenment and rhetoric, Pashtorat, preserver of discipline and order, Emet-selch, keeper of the ethereal realm, or underworld in the vernacular, Fandaniel, pursuer of extant phenomena, and Azim, traveler of the world and counselor to the people. What? Should I be revealing such details to you? Don't be silly. Even children know this much, and you would do well to remember it all. Okay, so she's gonna say the same thing, right? Yeah. Okay. The Charybdis, huh? Well, sounds pretty bad if you're naming it after a Greek demon. That was known to be a whirlpool that ate ships, or an aquatic monstrosity that caused the whirlpool to eat ships. But, well, we've surpassed an hour and a half here, so I think I'll go ahead and move on back to the sanctuary. It's pretty late, or early, or something. I'm gonna go get some stuff so I can remain in this glamour for the rest of this arc of the story. I hope you're enjoying this Let's Play, and I hope you're enjoying me blather on and getting teary-eyed over a little blue winged ear girl. And so anyway, stay safe and have a great day, and I'll see you again.